Hello everyone, welcome to my Paper Roses online video course. I'm grateful to have you with me on this journey that started many years ago as roses were the first paper flowers I ever learned how to make. With time, I perfected my technique and made a lot of research that led me to create this complex course about roses. I started this project as a unified concept, but the complexity and quantity of the information inspired me to divide it into two separate parts, each one exploring a different category but having a common ground. So, the first part is dedicated to creating realistic classic roses, which for me represents the foundation for making any other variety. The second part reveals all of the techniques and mechanics behind making garden roses, which I think are some of the most complicated flowers to recreate from paper. Using all the knowledge presented in the first part, we can go deeper into the learning process and discover how to arrange the petals in order to create the intricate centers with so many layers of petals that gives garden roses such an exquisite and romantic appearance. First, I will make a very small cut at the tip because I don't wish to have a straight line. So just watch the direction of my scissors and cut a very small piece from the brown edge, like the tip of a needle. Then cut half of a millimeter from the cream base, avoiding the brown part. The extra cream fringes will be removed, and I like to twist the fringes between my fingers for a bit to give them some movement. If we look close, we can see how the brown anthers have a round but thin tip, and the cream filaments are even thinner. After cutting a group of fringes, let's say 7 or 8 fringes, while shaping them, it helps to twist and press them together like this. This way they will appear more organic looking, and they will keep this shape as they will dry completely. We will not see most of these details, but I like to give them the attention needed and enjoy the process. It's nice to get lost in all of this process. It feels like the mind stops and we can enjoy the little things in life, even if in the end we will cover all of these elements with the petals. I will teach you how to create this quartered form with densely packed petals arranged in a few distinct sections in the center, followed by many layers of outer petals that are unfolding, creating a lush appearance, all assembled with the rest of the botanical details to create the perfect garden rose. It's very important to outstretch the paper to the maximum, and the 90 grams has a lot of elasticity, so I'm pulling for a few times until I don't hear the crinkling sound of the paper. And I don't use a big amount of glue because I don't need to overload the paper with too much moisture. It helps to even to outstretch the bottom edge and the top edge. And in the end it should look more or less like this. I will also color the back with the same intensity and color tones. Even if all of these papers are dried, I'm keeping them stored all together in a plastic bag, and you should do the same. I also have an extra laminated paper left with no coloring in case I need some extra paper for any of the color groups. And after that I'm rearranging and squeezing the middle of the outer petal for a bit. And at this point I will add the remaining petals, carefully selecting the spot for each one, and I'm moving on to petals coat 6. When it comes to shaping the petals, I will recap some of the moves you've seen so many times. I'm pulling and pressing with my thumbs to cup the petal. I'm rolling the edge very little backwards by scraping it with my fingernail pressed against my thumb, and I'm making a few embossed lines. I'm adding the third petal, overlapping half of the previous, and I'm adding the next one in opposition to it. We only have a few petals left, so we need to be careful and select the spot for each one in order to create a balanced shape. This one is also attached on the junction of two petals from the previous row. And I will place the next one in between the first two petals, a bit more to the right. So this is how they look. Each petal is unique because the edges are cut freehand. All of them have some colored areas with a bit of pink and brown spots. So these last particular petals have to be distributed equally to complete the shape on all sides. In the end, I'm very happy with the result, and the rose has the romantic look I was looking for, with a rosette cupped shape that's unfolding naturally. So I've presented all the basic techniques of building this type of garden rose, but the result will be unique depending on how you will shape and add each petal. So having all of this in mind, I will show you a different approach next, as I'm recreating a new type of garden rose. And this is how it looks so far. I love the asymmetry created. Adding the petal with one side between the petal groups is no longer needed. I wish to add these last petals in such manner in order to create a connection between the petal segments, so that in the next video we can move on to building the rest of the petal layers that will complete the flower. And let's see a petal from code 5. After copying it, we must make a few embossed lines, and this time we need to roll the top edge a little bit more, roll and expand it in the same time, and make the wrinkle in the middle. And I'm keeping the petal very tight and close to the others, so I can press and make folds at the base as the glue dries. That will keep the petal in a stable position. I will keep on adding the rest of the petals from code 5 on the back of the rose, overlapping each other, going round and round, equally distributing them to all parts of the rose. The rose is unfolding nicely, and the transition between the packed inner petals and the opened mid petals is looking lifelike. And the petals that follow in another row should always be placed on the junction point of two petals from the previous row. I'm adding another petal next to the right, overlapping the previous very little. I'm trying to recreate the shape of the petal as best as I can. I'm using the colors from my plate with no water because I don't wish to add moisture to the petals as I'm coloring them. The pink expression has these shades of pink hue mixed with coral in different intensities. So I think this color codes will be suited for this project. I'm rearranging the paper after painting by expanding the edges. I'm adding a bit of pink with the same pan pastel colors I've used for the other roses. I'm scraping the petal for a few times. I'm making a deep embossed line in the middle, and I'm scraping the edge of the petal, the upper edge, and I'm also using the curling tool to roll it. I'm reshaping a few of the edges using my curling tool. And at this point I'm looking to find the perfect spot for each petal. And this petal from code 4 um, fits very nice on this side with the left side inserted between the petal groups. But until I will reach the final petals, I have to add the petals from code 7, which will make the transition towards the bigger petals. I'm pressing with my thumbs against my fingers in the center of the petal, but also to the sides. And I'm overlapping all of them, and I'm rolling the top edge with my curling tool because it seems easier this way. I'm adding a bit of pink to the top edge. I'm cupping the petal and I'm rolling the edge. These last three petals are guarding the rest of them, and the shape of the rose looks complete. It looks a little bit different from the real one, mostly because of the color, but it still has this lovely unapologetic flair. The outer petals are intertwining perfectly and revealing a showy center. I hope you have enjoyed my creative process for this type of rose. I have also made some drawings that reflect the leaf style I will create. We need one with five leaflets. I'm cutting one by one, moving the leaf segments for every cut to the right and to the left. I'm bending the stem and place it to face the previous leaf. Here I'm using tacky glue to attach it to the central rib. And I'm pressing with my fingers as long as it takes for the wire to attach while removing the extra glue. So I'm adding a thin thread of glue with the paintbrush, and then I'm attaching the a paper strip. I also like to use a brown pan pastel and add color to the serrated margins. I also like to curve the stem for a bit to give it a more organic look and some movement. And we can actually curve each leaf as we please because of the wire structure from the back. Or maybe you can use a pastel pencil with a light color like ivory or yellow. But I just wish to make some more details. And if we have some green areas that need some adjustments, now is the time to make them. And now I wish to add some titanium buff at the base to make it a bit lighter. In the first part of the video, I presented how to work with the paper kept moist in a plastic bag, and I used it for cutting, painting and shaping each sepal at a time. But if you are making a lot of roses like me, you need to make a lot of sepals as well in advance, and to save time you have to work in a series. And I'm applying a lot of pressure, and I'm squeezing all of that paper at the base, and I'm fixing the end with glue, and the stem has the thickness I need. And I have this other bud that's a bit smaller, and I will attach them to one another. The taller one should be about 10 or 12 centimeters long. I'm fixing by wrapping with a paper strip. After the wires are in position, I'm adding glue. I will add another leaf a few centimeters downwards. I will also add some color to the stem. I'm stopping because I wish to add the bud opposite to the leaf. I've placed it in position and I'm curving the stem a little bit more. I'm keeping a tight grip with my left hand. The layer of glue I've added has created a transparent film over the paper wrapping, achieving a smoother texture. As a consequence, the acrylic paint is sliding on the stem as I'm adding it with my paintbrush. By learning how to recreate this type of old-fashioned garden rose, I hope you've seen enough technical details to help you dive into creating some other varieties. This being said, I find that recreating a garden rose with all those intricately arranged petals in the center is one of the most difficult flowers to make from paper. But I've presented all the techniques and mechanics I've developed so far, which I hope will be the foundation for making some new varieties for me, but for you as well. As I said in the beginning, this is a never-ending story. If you love roses, I'm sure your learning process will not stop here, but you will keep on discovering new varieties that you will be able to recreate using all the knowledge presented in this course.